The High Court in the Western Cape has just ruled that EFF's Monday shutdown can go ahead in Cape Town and the rest of the Western Cape, but protesters should not prevent the public from going to work. An order has just been given barring any kind of violence, looting of businesses and damaging property. The city of Cape Town had brought the urgent application to interdict the shutdown. Let's get now the details of this order from senior reporter here at eNCA, Aviwe Mtila, who was inside court. Aviwe, good afternoon. Welcome to today and thank you very much for your time. We managed to carry that order live. Just unpack it for us. What does this order mean for Monday?
In simple terms, Badan, it means that the protests of the economic freedom fighters on Monday must be peaceful in every aspect. You heard there no damage to the schools, government buildings or any property. No workers that are going to work must be interrupted in their journey to work. Just some of those measures that were mentioned there by Judge Mark Furr as he delivered that order. But we do know, of course, that the Premier of the Western Cape also joined in this order by the City of Cape Town, suggesting that it mustn't only be implemented for the City of Cape Town, but must be widened for the entire province. But the EFF, in their argument, suggested that this was actually what was agreed upon by the EFF and the city when they made the application to the city. They said that at the first place they agreed that the march in itself, the protest on Monday, would be peaceful in itself. So they were just sort of flabbergasted as to why they were in court. They were dragged to court. They said that the only thing that they're not in agreement with in this whole court process is that this is to make the EFF itself look in a bad light, if I can put it that way. They suggest that this protest itself was going to be peaceful and they'd agreed with the city, so they don't know why they're being dragged to court. But it was conferred, of course, and the order given by the Judge Mark Furr that, of course, it must be peaceful in the entire sense of the protest and no harm to either damages of the building, the human element of itself and people going to school or work on their normal days. Society must run peacefully as that protest happens on Monday.
Yeah, and also I heard him say that there should be no incitement of any sort against anybody or harassment of anybody, including incitement to violence.
Yes, no one must be disturbed on their way to work. We do understand, of course, there were those threats. You can see even the tweets that were mentioned by the opposition here. In fact, in terms of those tweets by Julius Malema and the announcement even by the Western Cape EFF itself in terms of the planned shutdown. And there were mentions, of course, of anyone that disturbs the plans of the planned shutdown can, well, meet their maker, the suggestion there from Malema. So those were brought up by the Western Cape government as well as the City of Cape Town, suggesting that there is that tones to this protest that it might incite violence. But of course that was cleared out and aired out over here, saying that no one must be disturbed on their way to work, no incitement of violence, no looting or damage to school property, damage to government buildings or damage just to any property. So everything must run smoothly in Cape Town while those protests happens of the economic freedom fighters on Monday.
Yeah, the City of Cape Town had brought this application on an urgent basis and they were granted that according to Judge Mark Furr there in the High Court. But he's also awarded the costs to the respondents, 1, 2, 3. Does that include the EFF?
That is including the EFF, something that they're not quite happy with. But in terms of the order itself, they're saying that it has no bearing really, because of course this was already agreed upon with the City of Cape Town. It just baffles them why it had to come to the High Court, as they suggested that as they made that application with the City of Cape Town, they already agreed that this was going to be a peaceful protest in the first place. So the only bone of contention is around the order and the costs, I beg your pardon, of the order that we do understand. Now the EFF has to cough out in their pockets. But they say in terms of the order itself, and it's just a bid to embarrass the EFF, as they already agreed with the City of Cape Town that it will be a peaceful protest. So they don't know why they've been dragged to the High Court by the City of Cape Town, and of course joined by the Western Cape Premier wanting this order, whatever was given here, to be broadened into the entire province itself and not constrained to the City of Cape Town alone.
Okay, so the effect of the order takes effect beyond the City of Cape Town, the rest of the Western Cape. and the EFF was baffled because it says there was an agreement it had earlier with the city of Cape Town to say the march will be peaceful. So the march, the shutdown, the protest by EFF will go ahead on Monday. The court has not stopped that, but it's laid down those strict conditions of how it must be done. Thank you very much, Aviwe Mtila, outside the High Court there in Cape Town. That's judgment by Judge Mark Shea a short while ago, not interdicting the march itself or the shutdown in Cape Town or the Western Cape by EFF on Monday, but setting out in an order what is allowed, what is not allowed.